Welcome back. Get ready to turn on dark mode. We're here to talk working in IT, video games, tech, and everything outside the 9 to 5. I'm one of your hosts, Keegan Lassard.
And I'm your other host, Taylor Floyd Muse. How's it going?
All
You in full
right.
quarantine right now?
Hell yeah, I am.
Oh, yo,
This is how I made it like coronavirus,
it's
baby.
been one of those kind of weeks.
100%.
Dang.
I'm cheersing the internet tonight. That's what I'm
Cheers,
doing.
dude. Big ears, all that stuff.
2020 is off to a start.
Dang. I'm fully remote now, so that's been fun. Cheers. I got some water. Here, pull
Oh,
back
cool,
up.
cool.
This
Oh
is
yeah, yeah.
not this is not vodka.
Quarantine cheers.
Yeah. So how about you? Are you remote?
Not yet. I will be here shortly. It's just it really sucks. And obviously we want to send support out to anybody that has been dealing with the coronavirus outbreak.
Or the people that like aren't able to work from home, that like either they can't work or yeah, like just
Yeah,
I don't know. We hope
it's
everything
tough.
works out for you.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the economy turns around, but man, it is going to be a tough time, and hence why we're cheersing. But um, yeah, I'm not remote yet. Are you? Are you fully remote?
Yeah, I mean, I like it's been all this week, and then they said for probably what they estimate to be like a month. So
Wow. They my work like made they weren't really sure because obviously like everyone it like this whole thing happened pretty fast. Like we saw it kind of approaching, but all of a sudden it's like now we really everyone needs to be remote, like 100%.
mhm.
And my work that doesn't there's certain functions in my job where I actually have to be at work. So you know this, and I'm sure other people listen that work in QA, and you'd probably think, well, what do you have to test? But my job, there's actually physical machines I have to test on. So without giving too many details, but so we actually have like a lab area. So it's definitely proven to be challenging, and my team is doing like a team A, team B schedule.
Okay.
That way there are people always there in case there is support needs, like whether somebody on my team needs to get something tested in the lab that's not physically there. So basically it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're here. And then on that Wednesday day, I work half day in the afternoon, but I'm in the office in the morning. Team B comes in the afternoon, and then they work the rest of the week, and then I'm remote the rest of the week. So it's interesting.
I guess
I don't
if
know
like
why they just
most of the other office is remote, like you're still kind of somewhat quarantined. Just don't touch anything they
that's
touch.
that's the thing is like they made an announcement that like basically saying if you need to work from home or you think you need to or like any reason why you think you need to be working from home, basically you can, and your supervisor can't do anything.
Okay.
And our team was like, hold on, we got to figure out a plan because there are those details I was bringing up. But a lot of developers and basically everyone that was looking for this opportunity is just remote. And I don't blame them. Like, I wish I could be fully remote right now. But yeah, it's a ghost town for sure at my work. Um,
I don't know. Do you love or hate to see that?
it's a weird mixture because it was kind of nice for a bit, but now it's like I don't know. I'm a very social person, so it's kind of sucks. Working from home in
Yeah.
general is kind of a double edged sword.
I mean,
Um,
like, I will say some people at my company, like, I almost kind of at first thought they were overreacting with like the whole like, oh, we're gonna be remote for a while, but then I started thinking about how a lot of them like either don't have a space to work from home at home, or like just aren't used to having that like unstructured, like I commute to work, and now I know when I'm done with work and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of like, okay, yeah, I could sympathize with that. But like, meanwhile, I got like the whole command center over here, like the desk, the computers. I just like boot up my laptop, plug it in, and it's like I'm ready to roll. So like it's a little bit different for me. So when they said remote, I was like, oh, like that'll be fine. Like I'll be good.
Yeah.
But then there's like the social butterflies in the office that still need, you know, social interaction, or they might live alone kind of thing. And it's just like, one of my leads even said, anybody know anything about Discord? And then like all the gamers were just like, yeah. Like lit him up with all the information. And then he's like, cause I'm like thinking about using it to like host virtual hangouts so we could just like keep in contact. And I was like, oh, I mean, that would be kind of cool. But like just the sheer fact that Slack doesn't do the voice channels already is kind of baffling to me, because they are almost
never
like,
thought about that.
they're like an identical application. The only difference is Slack doesn't have drop in, drop out voice channels. I could call a channel and people could come in, but like it's like, I think it's really forced. Like you can't, it's not as free come as you go kind of thing. But yeah, they also like Discord in light of the coronavirus and people being quarantined offered to have a temporary increase to their go live like hangout, so where you can have up to 50 people. So then like you can have all like a giant section of your company just drop in and just be like, all right, like what's going on? So yeah,
That's interesting. Yeah, when this all came up, I didn't really realize how many people don't fully understand or don't feel comfortable working from home.
for sure.
And I just assumed that I worked with them, like either project managers, business analysts. I just assumed working in the IT space that they knew or were comfortable with working from home. And then I quickly realized, like, oh, people either A, don't quite know how to work from home, or they're just not comfortable with it, which I get, because working from home is definitely like a nice to have, but when you put a required part on it, it kind of
That's where,
changes.
yeah, it gets a
That's
little
where it
bit.
switches. And you're like, I have to stay home. I have to work from home.
I cannot
And
leave the
it's like
house.
I personally don't like working from home, and I'm definitely the rare case of that, because I know myself, and if it does get to the point where it's required, I know I'll work fine. But like, let's say if I chose to work from home, I know full well that I'm not going to be disciplined, and like 100% of my time is going to be working. That
Yeah.
I'm going to get distracted, and that's what I definitely struggle with. And that's just because I know how I work. I'm a procrastinator, so if
Yeah.
if I don't focus in, or
Yeah, we had a whole episode on that not too
yeah,
long ago. I mean, I get where
so
you're coming from. Like, it's a different feel, and you do have to like be more disciplined about it. But I just feel like the sheer fact that every person is remote, you kind of, and it's during this like global pandemic kind of thing, it's kind of expected that productivity will take a little bit of a hit, just because being at home, like, oh, I know I have to do this laundry or this other thing, and you're like, oh, I'll just throw it on. So it's like, just like that would take away a little bit of time. But as far as
yeah.
like, I log on, I see my tasks for the day, I like start thinking about how I'm gonna budget my time, and then like you can hammer those tasks out or do them as like they come through the pipeline. And I mean, to be honest, after this 1 week, I mean, it's only Thursday. We're recording on a Thursday. So I got another day tomorrow. But like this is the first week, and I'm enjoying it. Like it's like a change of pace for me. I'm new to the company, and I like feel comfortable with the people, and I'm now comfortable in my role. So I feel like I can just log on, get what I need to do done, and then sign off. I don't have so much of a problem. Like I've heard some people like don't know when to stop because they're like at home and they're like don't have the commute,
That's
so there
fair.
might be on the couch kind of deal, and you're just sitting there and you're like, oh, it's like 6 o'clock, like maybe I should sign off. I guess I don't really ever have that problem, because whenever it comes time that I would normally leave work, it's like, okay, like have I gotten my task done? Yeah, then I'm closed. And I also have this dedicated space of the desk to come to. So then it's like, the funniest part is, depending on what I want to do after that, if I want to play games, I literally just put the laptop away and boot up the PC, and then it's like I'm still there. But
Yeah.
if you want to go, I don't know, make a snack, watch some TV, go for a run, like that's a nice way to change it up. But I mean, do you have any tips about how you can stay focused? Because I know you said you don't particularly care for working from home, but I'm sure you have like things that you do when you have to.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is make a space because I refuse to do like a remote from the couch because I won't be in the mindset.
Yeah.
I'll do the I'm available squiggle. You know what I'm talking about? And I'll it I have to like basically replicate an office feeling in my personal space at home, like having a docking station or having some sort of place where you could close the door
hmm
and like enter, almost like physically enter that mindset, and then be able to like leave it and know you're outside of work.
Yeah,
Because if you can do that, it's gonna make things a lot easier. But I don't know, just it's just your typical like keep a to-do list, keep on track because it's really easy to get like out of focus and out of sync with your team
hmm
being remote. At least that's what I worry about, and I know that's what a lot of people worry about with being required to work from home, especially with like a company like mine that's consumer facing. The threat of the economy and a lot of the financial problems that are going on right now, a lot of people don't want to work from home because of that out of sync with their team, and they don't get a feel for how things are churning. That's why it's important when you are remote to just keep in touch, maybe even send a message here or there to either your boss, just be like, hey, is there anything else you need from me? This is what I have lined up. Maybe even have those, even if you aren't in an agile space, have agile meetings, almost be like, hey, I'm doing this today, I'm going to do this tomorrow, I don't have any issues right now, let me know if you need anything. And then that way you have constant communication back and forth, because it's real easy to like just not hear from anybody when you're remote,
for
because nobody
sure.
will think about it because you're not in the office, you know? So those are definitely, I can see those concerns, especially people are worried about potential layoffs or whether or not their company's, doing okay. Don't think working remote is going to put you out of it, because honestly, at this point, they made it clear that our safety and everyone else's safety is more important. So don't go in if you feel like you just do those things where you're messaging or you're emailing, or set up a one-to-one call with your boss if you're that worried, just to keep tabs on what's going on. um I don't know, those are my tips. And then honestly, it's tempting to throw on Netflix, but if you're like me and one episode turns into 10, um
That's
don't
a
just,
big jump.
you
1 to
know
10.
but I think it's tempting, but if you struggle with procrastination like I do, it's more important when you're working from home to just not bring those even near you, like separate yourself out, like I said, into a different space. But I don't know, it's just working from home is nice, but it's also can be a double-edged sword, because right now I can't imagine, doing it for a week straight. Like, and that's
Well,
gonna
I
be next
mean,
week, I
I got
think.
I got 3 more weeks of this,
Yeah.
potentially more. Like, I don't know. They said to start it was gonna be 2, and then our CEO straight up was like, "But I estimate it would probably be like around a month, given the circumstances there." And I'm like, "All right, yeah." So just get used to a month of remote work. But I saw one of my coworkers, like he showed a picture of his current setup, and it was like one of those rolling kitchen countertop things that you can get at IKEA, and then he was
Yeah, yeah.
sitting on a step stool. And I was like, bro, you need to get a table, you need a chair. Like,
You need an
when you're
L
saying,
desk.
dude, all right, so for these people that don't have the work home or work at home setup, and they think it's expensive to get into it, to really all you need is just a table and a chair, and then you just set
For
your
real.
laptop down. And if you are used to having a multiple monitor setup at work, then you could just get like one monitor, and just set it on the table. I know that like I have a Mac at my work, so we use AirPlay. So if your TV supports AirPlay, you could use that as a second monitor, but just try not to sit on the couch, like you said, because that definitely doesn't help the mindset. But I
It
mean,
doesn't.
I've even heard that you feel more productive when you wear shoes because you don't feel like you're lounging. So people
Dude,
actually recommend you get up and get dressed. Like if
I
you're
was
working
about to
from
give that
home,
point.
yeah, I figured you would say something like that when you were talking about like keeping the routine. So, um, you get up, you brush your teeth, get dressed like normal. You don't have to get dressed like if you're in a business casual outfit. Like you could still wear like a hoodie and maybe some sweatpants, but like put some shoes on and then go sit at a desk. And like you will immediately feel 10 times more productive than you would lounging with your slippers or socks on the couch and the TV going. Like you just can't set yourself up for failure like that. So
Dude,
that's really helpful.
it's so important because the biggest tip is like log on when you normally would. Like don't like because the problem with working from home is we're in a weird space where it's becoming more and more normal, whereas like 3 years ago it wasn't.
Hmm.
And like you can't give the defense any ammo, which is like where people think it's work from home, and then they put these like you're not working.
Yeah.
So log on when you normally would, and yeah, where I like to actually like just do everything to a T and wear what I normally would wear to the office at home. But I have a funny story about somebody working from home. They didn't know it was going to be a video call. And this wasn't at my current employer, this was at a previous one.
Oh no.
And
Oh no.
this dude logged this is like a big meeting too. And like there was like three people that were out of office, but they had to be in there. So we were like, okay, we'll set up a video call so we can see you. And dude log on normal and they're saying hi, and then he hops on, and it was the funniest thing because he was on mute so you couldn't hear him, and he just thought he thought he was good. He's got a bowl of cereal, and like he's walking back to his couch and he's got no shirt on and pajama pants on, and he sits down and he's like bowl of cereal ready to go for the meeting. And we're just like, I'll just make up a name, Mark, we need you. Can you hear us? And he's like, goes, yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
Wait,
And
so he did a thumbs up?
no, I'm doing that. I didn't
Okay,
do
because
that.
I'm like,
He's
if
like
he
spoke
if
to
he
his
did that, he would have known that he's just like half
no
naked on the camera.
no. He was eating a cereal, and we said, hey, you're can you hear us? And he said, yeah. Like he leaned down to his laptop, like thinking he was speaking only.
Okay,
And we're
okay.
like, your video's on, and he went, oh. Like his reaction was so funny. Oh,
Dang,
like that, those are important reasons to at least not go full on I'm at home, who cares.
that's pretty
But
funny.
that was a funny time to not do that. Don't do that. Don't join a call wearing pajamas.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I've definitely like on some early morning meetings, like maybe a stand up. Like before we really started getting into them, they were like people would come on with their screen black, like their video muted, and you're like, okay, like they're in bed or they're chilling. But I
Yeah,
would,
yeah.
if I did that, I would essentially roll out of bed and then just like, I don't know, go quick wash my face, and then I turn the video on, and then I'd just be like, all right, what's up? But then I saw people on there, they're like eating their cereal, but it's like at least they made the effort to get out of the bed. So we just made a
Yeah.
rule. We're like, hey, like let's try to make an effort to put the video on so like we can get out and be productive. And I think that like the fact that they've made such a proactive deal about it, like we will be more productive than if we just kind of went into it and just see what happens, like because
Right.
that would have been a nightmare, I feel like. So
Yeah, because you guys were already like on that way, right? You guys had the Wednesday work from homes. So I
yeah,
mean,
and we already have a
yeah,
completely remote product, so like I don't.
you guys are Gucci.
Yeah, like our CEO got up there and was like, I mean, like this is a pretty bad situation, but we're kind of structured in a way that like we're going to be minimally affected by it. And I was like, yeah, I mean, good point. So I think I should be okay. But
Another pointer and annoyance I have sometimes, if you join a Skype call, just join in with a muted mic. What drives me nuts is these people that have no awareness for what's going on behind them, it seems like I was on like 3 meetings today where, and granted, I get it, people are working from home and like there's some things you can't control, but like that's where you just leave your thing on mic if you're not going to speak. But like there was one meeting where it was just this person's kid was just screaming in the background, and like they didn't hit mute, nor were they nor were they like, Brian, can you just Brian, I'm on a, like, there was none of that. It was just like a kid screaming and like going about like for like at least a solid minute or two. And I'm just like, what is going on? I just don't get why people just don't mute their mics when they're not speaking, because that's
Yeah.
an instance for me. So do that. Don't be the person with a dog
PSA.
barking or a kid screaming in the background. Just mute your mic.
Yeah, hold on though. I'm now thinking about like as I continue down this industry later on, if I get a pet or a kids and that kind of thing, working from home is going to be a completely different animal, especially if the children are also going to have to be home. Like, let's say
It's not leisure
30
anymore.
years from now we have another freak out, right? God forbid. And now we got the school is canceled. What am I supposed to do with dude? Oh, here's
With
Fortnite
dude,
2. Here's Fortnite 2. Go entertain yourself and try not to yell while dad's working. Like that's
yeah.
gonna be
I
a
mean,
whole
I don't,
nother
I don't
animal.
like. I'm not like I'm just telling them that they should just go on mute.
I
Like,
know, I
I'm
know.
not saying
I'm
it's
just
easy.
I understand. I'm just saying now I'm thinking about what it's gonna be like later down in life.
30 years from now, we can just go like this. Boop, mute. Just a little tap on the neck or something.
If
Just
that's where the phone is, it is not in my body. That is for sure. But maybe holograms,
but
I'll be in the room. Like you ever seen
oh, that'd be cool.
Kingsman? Kingsman 2?
Yeah, yeah.
They might have it in the first one, but like they're all around the table virtually. Like that's
With
what
the
I expect to
glasses.
be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. They just put the glasses on. That's what it was.
Oh, also, if you're a heavy breather, go on mute.
Well,
I
I
don't know
mean, you
who
should
these
just be
dudes
on,
are.
like you said, your whole rule about
These
mute.
dudes are just like. I'm like, what is going? Are you snoring or what's going on over there?
You hate to see
Or
it
like
or
they're
hear
calling.
it.
It sounds like a tornado.
So while I was working from home yesterday, I had on in the background Sony's little PS5 announcement. I was
Little. You act like it was like a quick thing.
bro, I'm saying little because no worthwhile information was shared. I was like already skeptical about this announcement because the way people were wording it was weird. They were like, "Oh, they're going to go through like the system's specs and architecture." And I'm like, "Okay, that's not a console announcement then." And then another article directly underneath it was just riding the hype train. They were like, "PS5 announced tomorrow. Let's get it." And I'm like, I don't know about that. And then I just tossed it on and all of a sudden there's just a podium and I thought what it was cardboard cutouts of people or just silhouettes because
I did
like
too.
yeah, it kind of looked like it because they weren't moving at first and it was like I mean, given that you can't really have giant meetups, like I thought it was like, oh, they're just doing like a virtual conference. But then like I saw them moving around and I'm like, okay, I don't know who these people
And
are.
then the chat lit up.
Yeah, and they're like, oh man, and then like you told me that a dude looked like this. The guy looked like was it Dana Carvey?
Dana Carvey.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
comes on and he starts going through the architecture. All right, I will say he had one of the most soothing voices and like speaking qualities. I was sitting there like, dude, this guy is
Soothing?
okay. I'm not talking about sensual or like your mother's voice kind of lullaby. I'm saying he had a good speaking voice.
He had a biology professor voice.
Okay, still was soothing. So I'm saying he did his perfect execution, but it felt like a college lecture. I was like, this is not a video game console information reveal. This dude is teaching me what an SSD is. He's teaching me like why RAM is important, what 3D audio is. Like I'm sitting here like this isn't what I'm expecting. So I kind of just like let it sit in the background and like finally waiting for maybe something, and then he ended it on the most abrupt like yeah, so look forward to more.
I I literally thought it was a joke. Like I went into it and I was like watching it. I'm like, is Sony just pulling a prank on their like fan base? Like where people were like hounding them for information. Like, oh, you want information? Okay, here's so much detail that gives you nothing. Have fun.
I genuinely
It
think
was
they were trolling.
ridiculous.
There's no way they
It was
weren't.
like, and I don't know. Like,
The funniest thing is you seem flustered by it, and you're not even a PlayStation fan. How do you think all the fanboys were when they're like,
I
"Oh, play
know
Sony, give me," and then all of a sudden they get nothing?
I was disappointed for Sony fans. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, I can't imagine like who pitched this idea over at Sony and was like, this will do well. Not only are we not going to have a conference, but we'll have a virtual one. And we're not going to get the hype man or anybody to come out special. We'll get the most boring, dull Bob Ross character to come out here.
Yo, don't you talk bad on
And
Bob Ross. He is not boring and dull. That man is soothing again and great with his painting
okay,
and happy little trees
sorry,
over
Bob.
here.
I'm sorry, Bob.
You love
Okay,
Bob. Bob got you through Iowa.
I know. Okay, sorry. The best part about the conference though was the chat stream. Like I was on IGN watching it. And people were just roasting this poor dude that like had to go explain what his job was and why he knows so much. And then like everyone is just lighting up the chat and it's like what's in the box and like everyone's
Yeah,
just
dude. They
yelling
were
at
just
this
like,
dude.
show the box.
And then like I don't remember what it was. It was like I think they showed a picture of a game, like some sort of gameplay, or
Mhm.
like a like
No,
logo.
there was zero gameplay. Let's not get that screwed up.
No, no,
There
no, no.
was
I meant like a
zero
screenshot,
gameplay. I
like
know,
a
but
screenshot.
that's different than gameplay. They didn't show shit. Like
And then
that's
the
why it
entire
was so frustrating.
the entire chat just goes, "Ooh, graphics, graphics!" Like, "Oh, sweet, sweet, sweet." And it was like, "No, it's like."
And then like everybody was spamming just Z's, like sleeping in the chat,
Yeah.
like get off the stage.
And it went on for an hour. Like,
Oh man.
I really hope that dude just goes back and watches, looks at the comments of it, and he's like, "Oh man, they didn't like
Dude, I
it."
don't think that people do that because they know how toxic Twitch chat and other live stream chats can be for gamers that like they just like I don't need that in my life. Like I don't want to feel bad. So, I don't know.
I'm just so amazed because like if they are competing with Xbox, Xbox had a similar conference. They went to about the same level of detail and still showed what the box is going to look like, what everything is going to like. They gave all the info in a nice conference in a nice, like, here you go fashion. And then Sony was like, no, 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 no. Coming to you sometime and it's going to look like something and it's going to do all this stuff.
I have no idea
But
what
you won't
they're
be able to
doing.
see it.
No idea. But I guess we could dive into like some of the things they actually did say cuz some of it was interesting but it was just drawn out. My favorite thing was they said probably not at launch but shortly thereafter it will support M.2 SSDs, which is like that stick style SSD that goes into like motherboards on computers that are like lightning fast. And
Yeah.
that's amazing because if they're gonna have some sort of modular element to it, I'm kind of excited. I don't know if it's gonna be proprietary though. I would kind of imagine so because I saw something in a different article that mentioned how Xbox and PS5 are using proprietary SSD expansions. So like currently on the PS5 or PS4, you correct me. I don't know if you could do this on P or Xbox, but you can do external. You can change your internal hard drive to an SSD,
Not on Xbox.
but you can do
Xbox can
external
have it.
SSDs, right?
You can do external SSD, but the launch of your Xbox is always going to be to that internal
Okay.
hard drive.
So they were
So
saying
you
that
can install all kinds of games on your external.
okay. So they were saying that you can no longer even use an external on Xbox. In the new one, you could store games on it, but you can't launch it from there. You have to then transfer it. So it's like, what's the point then? Like, I don't know if you could
Well,
put
if
save
that's the
data
case, then
on
maybe
it.
you can on Xbox One. I don't know. I've never.
I
Let me
don't
put
think
it
you
this
can.
way. I
You
don't.
can change the internal on Xbox.
I don't. Yeah, because I'm like thinking through like all the settings. I don't even know how I would have. I would have saw that if like that was the case
Mm-hmm.
because I have
But
an SSD.
the PS4 lets you do changing of the internal hard drive, so like you could put in a newer one that's bigger, because that's what I did on my original one. I had a 500 gigabyte at launch, and then I changed it to a 1 terabyte later. But then I ended up getting a PS4 Pro that came with a 1 terabyte. But technically, you can change it to a 2 terabyte SSD if you wanted it, as long as it fits. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if they're gonna allow that level on the PS4 with like, oh, I can go out and buy any brand, because the article was saying that they're most likely going to be proprietary, and you know that's going to mean they're expensive. Like it's going to cost maybe not expensive. Apple levels of proprietary expensive hard drives.
Oh no, Apple's like up here. Sony is probably
doing crazy shit. So yeah, we'll have to see. I really hope they don't ruin it with that. But next, they started talking about some 3D audio that, like, I feel like a lot of the things that they were talking about were hypotheticals, like where they want to be. They weren't even like, we're doing it yet. They were like, we want audio that's so realistic that it sounds like it came from real life. And he's like, we're trying to achieve that. We're like, I heard a sound and the spatial awareness, I thought I like looked to the to where it could have came from. And I'm like, okay, like those are big words, but if they do it, that would be cool. But like, again, that's not like.
It felt like a big leak. It felt like a big leak, and I was just like, what does this even mean? Like, of course you want to have the most realistic audio. That's such a blanket statement that like, I mean, anybody can make. Like, no one's gonna go up and be like, we want okay audio and we want it to be pretty good. Not like, yeah, of course they're gonna be like, we want the most realistic, we want to have the best console, we want to probably. That's all I kept hearing, and I was just like, cool, dude. Xbox is over here already having a prototype, and we're already seeing people play on it. We're already seeing people launch games via it. Giving us numbers. I know the naming of it. I was afraid I was gonna say Xbox One X or something, and the naming of it sucks. That's the one major flaw of the next Xbox.
But yeah, I mean, like I just looked up the rest of what they were talking about, and yeah, like it is a lot of hypotheticals. But I mean, I think that what's probably happening is, in the past, Xbox and PS4 have come out around different times, and it has cost like sales or different things in the early stages. And I think that Sony is farther behind in the actual development process, and they know they're getting railed by people. So they were like, hey, let's give them something even though it's not concrete yet. So yes, Xbox has like the prototype, like they sent it to a YouTuber, Austin Evans, and he was able to like check it out, which is cool. But yeah, like Sony, like everybody's like, oh, they're stalling and blah, blah, blah. But like, also, I don't know, but I feel like the fact that they are based in Asia, like the coronavirus is probably having a bigger effect on them. So they did come out and say though that the PS5 will, like they're still on track for an holiday 2020 release. They said that. But the fact that they don't seem to have a prototype, like as I'm looking at information here, it's saying like what the PS4 does and then what the PS5's target is. So like one spec, they were like, oh, we want to load 2 gigabytes in 0.27 seconds. That's the target. Whereas the PS4 does it 1 gigabyte in 20 seconds, which is like way vastly different.
Leaps
and bounds better. But this is like all the fancy stuff that, like, again, it won't mean anything until it's on the hard drive or the console and it's doing stuff. But I don't know. I was watching.
And you know what the saddest part is, dude? The reason I was so disappointed is because this might be the fucking year. This might be the year where I switch over.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying there was a lot riding on it, but like, this isn't a good step for me to fully go from being a Microsoft fanboy to like actually buying a PS5. So like,
but I told you in a previous episode, it really doesn't matter what happens now, is when it's out. And again, I have full faith in their whole like marketing once it's out, because the PS4 was supported so well. But yes, their target specs versus what the Xbox Series X is already having, Xbox is like leaps and bounds better, but I think that the use case for an Xbox Series X will be, I want to get into PC gaming, but at a budget. So now I'm gonna go buy a $500 or $600 console that is just like, it just shits on a PC of the same price. You know what I mean? So because they have the whole play
That's
everywhere,
fair.
and you can play on PC, that's like the enthusiast aspect of gaming, where people start dropping $1,200 on a gaming console essentially. So when you look at why you would get a PS4, I mean, I've said it a billion times, but it's just because of the games, of the exclusives. So I feel like when you upgrade your PC, you will have zero reason to get the Xbox, because your PC will be most likely better than the Xbox. And then um, you can
And
play
PS5 for
all,
exclusives.
yeah, but you can play all of those Xbox games on the PC, and then like you're obviously always going to want to play stuff like League or other PC exclusives that may come out later down the road. So I don't know. I like think it's really funny when all the people in the chat were like, Xbox specs so much better, and then like Lyric, I was watching Lyric stream, and he was just like, yeah, but what are you gonna play on it? And then everybody was like, yeah, you right. And then I don't know, like it's funny. So I think that the Xbox has nailed the corner of the market where they're like, we're trying to target the people that kind of want like a high end gaming thing for a budget. But yeah, I don't know. I will always want to go to PS4 as long as they have their exclusives, or Sony, you know what I mean, PlayStation.
Yeah, exclusives definitely always outbeats Xbox. Not to go to a console war, but my response usually to those is like any type of game, like Doom. Like it's there's other games other than exclusives. So like when like games like Doom or Call of Duty or these other first person shooters, those should be like, if you're a Microsoft fanboy, just throw those at them because they're gonna play those too, and you're gonna play it on a better console. That's the argument you guys should need to tell them.
Yeah, but
Cheers
then
to Microsoft people.
when I heard what Lyric, somebody said something like that to him, and he was like, but then you look at what Sony does with lesser hardware. They squeeze so much more out of it, and you look at games like The Last of Us, and they look beautiful. Like they look amazing. And then you look at something on Xbox and it looks the same, and it's like, "Oh yeah, our hardware's better," but it's like it's such a minute difference that it's like, okay, there's really no point. So, I don't know, I just feel like the hardware thing is just like negligible at this point, cuz it's like, all right, I built a PC for $1,500 and then I built one for 3 grand. I mean, I'm gonna get 40 more frames out of that or something, and just like a bunch of lights and stuff, but I'm still playing the same things, or if one had
Yeah.
exclusive or not. But I don't know. I am pretty annoyed with Sony's like weirdness right now, because it did kind of feel like they were trolling, but I'm hoping it's just that they're trying to meet the demand for something that isn't ready yet, when their main competition seems to. But then Xbox is over here like, Sony's no longer our competitor. We're looking at Amazon and Google Stadia and all those things, and I'm like, all right, y'all go do your thing. We'll be over here just like handling ours.
I mean, they got to address it because, I mean, they aren't wrong. Cloud gaming is going to be the next hurdle, but the thing is that it's a joke right now because it's not ready. Like,
Yeah. It was just
I,
a funny
I don't even know.
statement that they said that like they
Yeah.
are no longer focused on Sony. So I think that's what they mean by like, hey, we're not focused on like making exclusives just for the console. We're trying to make this whole platform where I can play my shit anywhere. And it's like, okay, then
Yeah.
I can really just play on anything other than the $600 console that you're trying to sell me.
And if you think about it, that is kind of the baby step towards that. Like, they're trying to say that, look, like, console war, yeah, we've had it for forever, but like after this one, all of our budgets going towards figuring out what the hell to do with cloud gaming,
Mm-hmm.
because Google Stadia says they're ready, but like that launch was a disaster and it still is. So I mean, clearly it's not ready yet, so they have some time. So I think that statement was just to kind of reassure their fan base that they're working towards the high, like that. The people that are still around are the people that are what you described, that want, you know, high performance at a budget. So
Hmm.
they gotta appease to that. That we're on the up and up. We just give us time. And they tried that one E3 where they announced all the studios that they acquired.
Hmm.
I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get some like solid exclusives. I'm thinking, turn the corner of 2020 into 2021, we're gonna get quite a few Xbox exclusives that get announced. Granted, right now the space is all dominated by Sony because they're acquiring the others too. But eventually it's going to reach a point where Microsoft doubled down on their studios they believe in, Sony doubled down on theirs, and that's just the next war.
Yeah.
Cloud gaming is going to be a thing, but then it's going to be exclusives. Which cloud service are you going to go to?
Dude,
And
if it starts
that goes from
being
there.
like you know how with the whole net neutrality thing and they were like tiers of internet or whatever, like I hope that this cloud gaming doesn't go with like, oh, join this service to get like these games if you pay this much, and then like this other
Per
one is
month.
exclusive over there, like that. I don't know, because at that point, it's not even like a whole Sony versus Microsoft like feel kind of thing. It's just kind of like it's just software at that point. It's not even like, I don't know. I don't even know like what I would choose. Sony has like their eyes set on any sort of cloud thing anytime soon. But then like they're actually starting to bring their PS4 exclusives slowly to PC, but they're coming like late, which is an interesting move. I don't know if they're just trying to gauge the feel for these games, like if PC gamers would enjoy it, but Death Stranding's coming there pretty soon. They just announced Horizon Zero Dawn's coming pretty soon. Um, and then
Maybe
like
I
I
should just
think,
try Death Stranding as a joke.
I mean, you definitely could now. But I don't know what other things. But it says that they want to start getting more games on PC, but they don't have any plans to do it at launch. Because I think they don't want to do what Xbox has done, where they kind of like negate the worth of their actual console, to PC gamers at least.
Right.
And I don't know how that's gonna go, but like I think it's kind of cool. But I don't ever want to wait a full year to get a game that I could have played on PS4 the whole time. Especially when PS5 comes out and it's gonna close the gap between PC gaming and console gaming. Maybe not to the same extent that Xbox did, but I don't know. They're like, we have so many different paths that we could go down here, and I honestly can't wait until both consoles are announced and we're like a couple months out and we just dive hella deep into this console war, because it's gonna be fun. Like we've already
It
done
is.
little snippets each week, but like I think
I'm
we
gonna do
gotta.
research though.
Bro, you think I'm gonna show up to the fight without research? Like this is gonna be fun. But I don't
I'll be
know.
wearing an Xbox shirt.
I'm gonna, dude, I bought this really cool Sony sweatshirt once. It was like a floral design with the PS logo on there, like somebody made it. But then it came and it was just like way too small after I washed it, and I was so upset. So I gave it to my other friend who's really into Sony. But I want to buy another one, and then like maybe if I buy that, I'll show on here and I'll be like, yeah, Sony's getting it, like pumping the shirt and everything. So I don't know, it's gonna be fun. But they were
Yeah.
definitely wilding with that announcement, and I don't even know what to think. They need to give out the console, like give out. What am I trying to say? Announce
There's no way that there isn't like a prototype.
that V. It's gonna look like that ugly ass V. I swear, if it looked like that, I'd buy the Xbox. No, I'm just kidding. Psych, I don't care what it looks like. I just care what
Can I hold you to that?
that was a joke, my guy. If I
No.
meant it, you could hold it to me. But
Did you
I
mean
don't
it?
care. I don't care what the console looks like. It's what I'm playing.
Oh, hold on. You do care what the console looks like, though.
I care what my PC looks like, because she looks beautiful. She got all the lights and everything, but that thing could look like a piece of poop. I just hide it and then play the littest games ever on it. Like, I would be upset that they had a shit design, but like I would get over it. But now that you got all this extra time, or you might soon with working from home, you don't have to commute. What you gonna start doing? What you gonna do to keep yourself entertained when you're not working? You're gonna play a ton of games, watch a ton of TV, you're gonna
I
play
mean,
some music. I don't know. You play the guitar or ukulele, my
dude,
ukulele.
yeah, it's mine. It's not your ukulele.
Uh-huh.
Well, I was thinking you were brought up like way, way early in this episode. Like, luckily, like people that are single, I can't even fathom like having to be quarantined and just be by like, I'm just by myself for a week because I'm so
That would
social that I would go. That'd be such an L.
I mean, you would
But
need to use the Discord thing. Like, you would need to
yeah,
talk to
exactly.
people FaceTime. Just be hanging out. It doesn't even matter what you're doing.
But yeah, I'll be trying to work on my backlog. Like my goal is this weekend to at least beat one game.
Good luck. No
Yeah,
way.
I mean the temptation is to just boot up League because
You're going to.
Steam, anytime I look at my Steam backlog, I like get really inspired to do something and like beat a game or play a Paradox game, and then like I'll look at them all and I'll be like, which one? If 5 minutes transpires, I boot up League. If there's nothing that like pulls me in, it's just all right, League of Legends.
Yeah, I
But
feel that. I was doing that with Call of Duty Warzone, which don't forget to let the people know you downloaded and played 2-3 matches of. And
yeah, and they have
it
trash
was
servers.
absolute ass.
And it's not because of my computer.
All right, so we thought the servers were bugging, but like it turns out that when I turned my computer on, my VPN somehow auto started when it normally doesn't. So I was playing on Canada servers, and I was like, "What is wrong?" And then I found out later. I'm like, "Okay, now we got to do another one with legit servers." But
Yeah, so I'll be different. I'll admit that it's not bad. There are aspects of PUBG I like better, but I want to play legitimate good matches of connectivity first before I judge.
yeah, just
But
based
yeah, I'll
off
be
the
playing.
initial, which parts of PUBG did you like better? Cause like I didn't really get into PUBG.
I don't like the way you drop in Call of Duty.
What
I don't
about
think
it
they
is
give you
weird?
an. I don't think they give you enough time to plan out where you're dropping, in my opinion.
Okay,
And it
like
might be
you
just because
mean
I'm not
in the
used to it.
plane or while you drop?
Both. When you
You
drop,
feel
you're dropping
rushed.
fast. When you
Yeah,
drop, you are dropping like I guess it's like it's supposed to be Call of Duty, it's supposed to be fast
I was
paced,
gonna say.
but like I'm used to PUBG where it's a huge map. That's another thing is I think Call of Duty it doesn't feel as large as PUBG, and
Mhm.
it might be, but um you load in and you have like a solid 10 seconds of like you're still over water before you even get to like where dropping's a thing.
Mhm.
Not in Call of Duty. Call of Duty's like we're over the map, like figure your shit out, like. And so like for new people getting used to the game, that's a little intimidating. Obviously, kind of learn through fire, and then when you drop, finally, it is a hella loud.
Dude, they
Because
really need to
chances,
lower that plane audio. I haven't heard a single person not say something about how loud the damn plane is. Like, if you're trying to talk to your friend, you're like, "What are you saying? The plane is too loud." And it's like,
yeah.
it's bad.
And even when you're dropping, they have like all the sound effects going, and I don't like the. I have motion blur turned off, but when you're dropping, your entire screen is all blurred around your character as you're free falling into the game. I don't know. And then when you drop the shoot, yeah, then you're good and you can kind of look around. But like, if you have your VPN connection like we did, and it's just shit, chances are when you do your if you do your parachute, you're gonna get glitched out and not be able to drop where you want to.
Yeah.
Um,
Dude, I think what
and
happened
that
with
was like
you
my
though is that you came from playing these slow paced games and then you came into one of the fastest paced games like on the market and you were like shaking like where do I go? What do I do? And I was just like, all right, Keegan, I can't really slow it down. Like I'm trying to teach you on the fly. Like we're in the plane. I'm like, we gotta go here. The circle hurts in this game. Don't get caught. Like auto loot happens for anything not gun related or grenades, and you're just like, huh?
I don't know.
I can't hear you. You know?
Yeah, that's another thing is you have to lower that shit. So like I don't know. My opinion is if you're playing PUBG and you don't like how long it takes and you're not really about the tactician mode of like using the map to your awareness. Yeah, you. And you're not a big fan of that, and just like really map awareness and like planning out where your next phases are on the map. If those are the things you hate in PUBG, then Call of Duty's like, psych, we threw that shit out. Like, game
We do
matches
that
happen real quick.
Oh man.
And also, why do we have to do this stupid cutscene every single time the match starts? Also, the loading screen I have beef with.
What's wrong with the
I
loading
think
screen?
PUBG does it right, where when you load in and you're in a lobby, they don't put you in the airplane and then drop you into the map. You just load at the core where everyone else is at,
Oh, you're
and then
talking
you
about
can
the
fuss
pre-game
around.
lobby while you're waiting for players,
Yeah.
not the loading
Yes.
screen.
Yeah. Sorry.
What does
The
it
lobby.
matter if you drop in? I think it's more fun than
Well,
when you run around in PUBG and you just hear all the footsteps going like click 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 click, and then like people are huffing and stuff, and like you just run to the tables and pick up a gun. Like I thought it was cool. Like, all right, you guys want something to actually do? Like we'll drop you in and you can kill people.
and
But listen to this. This is the most like helpful part of it. When you're killing people in the lobby, you're leveling up your weapons.
oh,
Now, I guess
that's
you only
cool.
played 3 matches and you didn't even have create a class unlocked yet because you were just downloaded, so you wouldn't know. But like I was playing with like a LMG that they gave me that I normally don't play with, and I unlocked like a couple things on it, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Here, here's the problem: is I'm skewed because we had such bad connection that even the loading screen was freaking me out, because it wasn't me getting into the lobby was all like it was like
Okay.
it made me think my computer was about to have a stroke. So like I don't know what was going on.
It might have been. You need to get that thing upgraded.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see, because like I genuinely liked PUBG. It's just a matter of I was going through the thing where I'm like, I'm just not good at first person shooters,
Yeah, that's fair.
but I liked the social aspect of playing those games. So
Well, now we can
we'll
play
see.
one together because I didn't really care for PUBG, and this is like kind of close. But you also have played fast paced, like kind of thinking shooters like Overwatch. So this could be like an in between kind of pacing. And yeah, I mean, I'd be down to play with you just because if I ever want to play with you, I only could play like League, or now we're playing Divinity. But it's been like 3 weeks since we touched that because like 8 games have come out or we bought stuff. Like, oh, I forgot.
Or
I bought Borderlands 3 again on PC because it was.
I forgot that you told me about this.
All right,
I'm
really
really
hold on.
upset about this.
You can tell me why I'm ugly. I'll let you go first.
The problem is I know the context of why you bought Borderlands 3.
I know,
And I
but
think
like
the context of it,
you wanted to tell me why I was ugly, and I just want to hear it.
because I don't care how much you quote unquote enjoyed Borderlands 3. Part of you was disappointed with Borderlands 3 deep down. You were disappointed, and you played Borderlands 3 for like a month. And then like months have transpired since you've gone back to Borderlands 3, and it comes back on PC, and that's why you buy it. And you're going to go through this thing where you're playing it again, and you're going to play as a different class, which is cool. And you also told me about how you got your old class all leveled up from somebody's save or whatever.
Well, don't
You're
spoil
going to go
my
through this new
rebuttal.
class. Okay. You're going to go through this new class, you're going to go through the game, and you're not going to be playing with me on it because I'm not doing it. I was really disappointed with Borderlands 3. And you're going to get to the point where you get to the end of it, and then you're like, oh, Doom's out. Oh, Animal Crossing's out. Oh, I want to play all these different games. You're going to be done with Borderlands 3. And now you bought it on 2 systems that you'll never play it again after like maybe a couple weeks. That's why you're ugly.
Okay. So I would say that I was pretty happy with the gameplay of Borderlands. Yes, the story was trash. Now,
Okay.
the game did not run well on the PS4 Pro even at all. Like it was just a dumpster fire. So I suffered through it, especially because I was gaming on the PC as well, like other games, and getting high frame rates. And this is the reason I think I'm ugly, because I bought the super deluxe edition with the DLC thinking like, oh,
Yep.
I'm going to be able to play all of that or most of the DLC by the time the game comes out on Steam. And they released the first one in like December or something, and then I booted it up on PS4 and the game was running worse than before, and I literally just quit. So then I was like, all right, I'm not going to play that. And then now they're releasing the second one after it released on PC. And then I was like, oh, like I kind of want it, but like it's going to be 60. And then they showed up and it's $30 on PC. And I was like, what? And then I looked at how much it was to get the pass for that with it, and it was $50 altogether. And I was like, all right, like I'll just take the L because I'm always gonna want to play it on the PC over that. And then yeah, like you said, I didn't want to have to go through from scratch on my character that I played to play the DLC because I got it with it. So I looked up online to see if they had a save editor made like they had for Borderlands 2. And they didn't have it finished yet, but somebody would just like put their 4 level 50 character class saves on there, and I just grabbed Amara, put it in, and then like I was at the end of the game. So then I just went to the DLC with level 50 stuff, and then like essentially was kind of where I left off. So I've been playing the first pack of DLC. I already put 6 hours into it, and I bought it yesterday. Like I'm actually getting some worth out of it now. The funny thing is, I'm trying to beat this first piece of DLC before Doom comes out because, yes, like you said, as soon as Doom, Animal Crossing, I'm going to be straight up grinding and not going to want to go back for a bit. But the thing is, DLC 2 drops next week, so I am going to be kind of tempted to go back. Now, I don't know how it's going to happen, but there's going to be some sort of lull in the summertime where I'm going to start going back and catching up. And I will say the game runs way better on PC. And like, I already just feel like I'm having so much more fun with it than I did on the PS4 because it doesn't run like a dumpster fire and the menus don't lag. That was like the worst thing. Anytime I wanted to switch my gun, all right, it's going to take you 10
Their
minutes.
menus sucked in general, though. Their menus were like super small.
I mean, I didn't really think it was any different than the previous games. Like, their menu was already kind of like clustered because they had to show so much information on it. But like on PC, it's more accessible and doesn't lag. So I thought it was better. But yeah, I bought that. Doom comes out tonight. So I'm going to try to finish the rest of this Borderlands before Doom. I think I'm close to the end of the DLC.
And then you got Warzone, you got Animal Crossing.
Warzone's that game you play every so often. Like you would say with League. I look at my library, don't know what to play, Warzone. But that's also if anybody's on, because playing that game alone, although they just added solos, I don't really enjoy playing it alone.
They did?
Yeah, they added solos, but it's 149 other people with you, so I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing Animal Crossing too. I think that when I get too frustrated with Doom, I'm gonna go zen out in Animal Crossing, start farming, fishing, and all that stuff. So, because you know they play that heavy metal in Doom, and you're out here like just adrenaline pumping, and then you like keep dying, and you're like, all right, I'm done. I need to get out and like. That's
definitely one of my favorite memories of that apartment that I was in college is finally getting Doom on the Xbox, and I was like, yo, come over, let's play Doom. Cause like I went to GameStop and I found it used for like $30 when on release weekend. Damn. I remember that was like a specific reason why I bought it. But you came over and we played it on the hardest difficulty.
No, not the hardest, because that's ultra hard or ultra nightmare where you one life. But yeah, nightmare mode. And you got mad in the span of 30 minutes. Like you were all pumped, like yeah, ready to go. And then we couldn't get past the first fight because we weren't in like Doom mindset. And then all of a sudden Keegan's like, man, this was a mistake. Like I'm pissed. and I was like, yo, chill, fam. Like let's just lower the difficulty. But to be fair, I was also getting kind of upset because I'm like, he's not dying. I'm trying to glory kill him. Like what's going on? Funny times. Yeah.
Oh man.
You excited for this one? You gonna wait till you upgrade your PC first, right?
I don't want to buy it yet just because I want the new PC to run on it first. Like that, and I just don't want to buy a new game yet. Like I just have so much shit in my backlog that I know I want to play.
You're trying to be a good
and there's
boy.
Nothing out. Yeah, but like if Baldur's Gate 3 came out like next month, I would buy that. Like if they said, "Hey, early access is gonna happen next month," but cop,
bro, like, that would be something else. I would never see you again. Like this podcast would be over, or maybe I would only hear from you when we have to record. Other than that, it would just be like you're off the grid.
And you know what it is the fact that like when I planned out 2020, it's that this right now this time I was playing Avengers before
No,
Cyberpunk comes out next month,
I thought Avengers was May.
March. Pretty
No,
sure.
it was May. I think it was like May 5th or May 4th or
Oh,
something.
maybe I was playing. Either way, my plan was Cyberpunk and Avengers this fall into summer.
Yeah.
And now that those are in the fall, I'm like, well, might as well utilize my time because that's all I'm excited about this year. So,
Yeah, and then Animal Crossing will happen. So
nope.
I'm telling you, like, you can say all that stuff beforehand, but then once it gets down to it, and I'm enjoying it, I cannot speak
It's
for
fake.
how you're gonna do. You're gonna
It's
pull
fake.
you're gonna pull one of those. Am I just gonna? and
Am I
then all of a
just about
sudden
to?
the wallet's gonna be inching closer to the table. Like whenever the Steam sales would come out, they would have those memes where it's like, wallet, what are you doing? And it's like getting closer to the screen, and then it's just like open on the screen. Oh man.
My, my thing is, anytime you say anything good about that game, I'm just gonna be like, fake news, fake. You hate it. You hate that game. It's terrible. IGN lied. It's not
I
good.
mean, let me
It's not.
let me say this. If you resist, I will be proud of you. But if you give in, I will be proud of you. So I don't know how you're gonna deal with that.
That sentence was very ugly.
Just like you, fam. Any
Oh,
other
nice.
games that you're
All right.
looking forward to?
Animal Crossing.
Yeah, see there it is. All right, so moving on from
Shit.
gaming. If we're not gonna game during this quarantine, what else you gonna do? You gonna read a book? Gonna watch some TV?
Yeah, dude.
Are you
I'm
reading
gonna
anything right
read
now?
so many books. Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Well, it's a graphic novel. It's a comic book, so I mean, not
I
really.
don't
Sounds
I
really
don't think we're
kiddish.
allowed to talk about books on that because it's not digital. Unless you're reading it on a Kindle.
It can be.
Are you?
No.
Get out of here then. Dark mode only.
My wife and I just finished watching I'm Not Okay with This on Netflix. Great TV show if you haven't yet watched it.
All right.
I don't know how to describe it
I was
besides
skeptical because I was looking at the trailer and I was like, "Oh, yet again another coming of age child superpower story." I'm tired of them.
said the same thing.
You did?
Exact like almost word for word when Stormy showed me the trailer. And then we just hopped on the first episode. Once you realize the episode's only 30 minutes long, and there's only
Oh,
7
this
of
is
them?
like sitcom. What? All right. Crank that out this weekend.
Exactly.
But the problem is I'll be
It
trying to
was
balance
so good
Doom,
though.
Animal Crossing, Borderlands 3, Warzone this
Fair.
weekend. So I don't know.
But another thing I'm gonna do because I need a laugh, and everyone else that needs a laugh because of all this stuff. Bert Kreischer just released a new comedy special hour yesterday, Tuesday.
On
And
Netflix.
yeah, it's on Netflix. Hey There Big Boy, I think is what it's called. So I'm gonna be watching that.
The way you asked that title, "Hey there,
'Cause I
big
couldn't
boy."
remember.
I know, but it
Just
just
his,
sounded hilarious.
And then Tom Segura, who's another comedian I like, is releasing a comedy special the next weekend. And then after him is Chris D'Elia the weekend after him. So it's like,
You mean Eminem?
yeah.
Eminem. What is like an off-brand Eminem? Like, do they have anything like that? Because he does a really good impression of Eminem, and then when they had him in the Logic music video with like the blonde hair and everything, like I see
That was
him now and I
hysterical.
see Eminem. It's weird.
But like, since we've been kind of quarantine already ourselves, like outside of work and not going to like restaurants, TV's kind of already been like used up, if you will. So we might just like resort to board games or a card game we like to play. I don't know. Something else. Who
Yeah, I
knows?
mean, I watch TV with my girlfriend pretty much every day too, but we don't watch like a ton. We don't binge a lot. But like we've been watching Succession on HBO, and it's like
Oh,
a
I heard that was
different.
good.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's like a different kind of show than I normally watch, because I feel like usually I'm watching like either like the sci-fi stuff or like the fantasy things or just like detective dramas, like the crime stuff, which those are like the three major things I feel like. And this one is just strictly about just like a business conglomerate and like how they're just out of control. And I honestly, it's pretty solid. It's a little bit of a slower paced show for me, but I like it. But then we also counterbalance that with Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I have seen sporadic episodes before, but I thought I'd finally just like start cranking them out. And it's pretty funny. And then the funniest thing is I didn't realize that Andy Samberg was old. Like, I shouldn't say old, but like he's 41 now. And he looks like he's still like late 20s almost. But I suppose in these earlier seasons, he was still like mid 30s or early to mid 30s when he was recording them. But like, I just thought it was funny. I had no idea. But yeah, he's hilarious in that show. Great cast and everything. I'm just like 10 years late to it, so.
Just a little late to the party.
You gotta catch up. I mean, I caught up with other sitcoms and stuff like How I Met Your Mother and Friends. I saw Friends for the first time like 3 years ago, but
I'm not a big fan of Friends.
It wasn't as good as How I Met Your Mother, just because like How I Met Your Mother was so much more clever with how they tied everything together, which is like Friends would have complete episodes where it was just literally reminiscing about previous episodes, and it's like, dude, that was a waste of time. So I don't know, it was funny, it had its moments, but like I definitely prefer How I Met Your Mother. So yeah, I think that about wraps it up. I guess we'll just resort back to our little bunkers, our quarantines. Don't go into the outside world.
Good thing we already do our podcast remotely.
I was literally saying those words. You took them right out of my mouth. So otherwise, like if we were in here, like, Keegan, you got to get over here, but like wear a suit to get out. No, that's how some people are treating it. And it's like, I mean, whatever floats your boat. I've touched my face like 80,000 times since I've recorded this episode, but like I'm in my own home and I wash my hands. So I feel like I'll be okay. And then next week I'll be like in the hospital.
Let's hope not.
I know, right?
All right. Man.
Well, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Dark Mode Podcast, and check out our Facebook, Dark Mode Podcast / Dark Mode Podcast. That's what it is. The Facebook thing.
It's not an at.
Yeah, there's no at / We're doing that actually. And we're gonna be cranking out content in this quarantine because we are remote. Huge.
Always.
All right, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.
Later.